Hello, fabulous scholars. Welcome to more of Shakespeare's The Comedy of Errors. When we left off, Antipholus and Dromio were having a conversation in the dining room of Adriana and Antipholus's house, but not this Antipholus, the other one. This Antipholus had just proposed marriage to Adriana's sister Luciana, who freaked out because she thought he was already married to her sister, not realizing there's two of them, right? You and I know something that the other people in the play don't know. And then Dromio shows up just as panicked as Luciana, but for a different reason. He's found out that he's engaged to marry a kitchen maid, so a woman who works in the kitchen, and I don't think he likes her. So the next part of the play is supposed to be pretty funny, but it's also not very kind of my cat to walk in front of all the scenery and the actors. Thank you, Maud. Because they're going to make fun of the kitchen maid. Antipholus is going to ask, what's she like? And then Dromio is going to tell him, and he's not going to be very kind about it. So because it's a play, it's okay to be a little silly. Just know that what they do, you shouldn't really do in real life. Okay, so Antipholus says, what is she? So what is she like? And Dromio says, a very reverent body, aye, such a one as a man may not speak of without he say, Sir Reverence, I have but lean luck in the match, yet she is a wondrous fat marriage. Oh, sir, what is she like? Well, let me tell you, she is very round. Now, I don't have a lot of luck. I don't have a lot of money, but she has a lot. He's trying to say that she's very overweight. But Antipholus isn't sure about this, so he says, how dost thou mean a fat marriage? What do you mean a fat marriage? Because usually that meant that the wife was very wealthy, and so Antipholus is like, wait, your wife, you're engaged to somebody who has a lot of money? And Dromio is going to say, no. He says, marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease. Oh, no, sir, she works in the kitchen. She's very greasy. And I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. She's covered with so much grease from the kitchen, I don't even know what to do with her, unless I turn her into like an oil lamp, and then I could use her light to run away from her. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she live till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world. Oh, her clothes are so soaked with grease that if I lit them, they'd stay lit until the end of a very long winter. Poland has winters like Minnesota does. And if the world ended, she would still keep burning for another week from all the oil that's in her clothes. And Antipholus says, what complexion is she of? So how else does she look? Oh, swart like my shoe, but her face nothing like so clean kept. For why? She sweats. A man may go over shoes in the grime of it. Well, she's about the same color as my shoes, but she's not as clean as my shoes. You know why? She sweats. I would need to wear overshoes, boots, just to walk near her. She sweats so much. And Antipholus says, what's her name? Nell, sir, but her name in 3/4, that's an L in 3/4, would not measure her from hip to hip. Oh, her name is Nell, sir, but if we took part of her name, L, E-L-L, which is a measurement, that would still not be enough to measure her from side to side. So he's saying she's really wide, because an L, which is a little bit more than a meter, I think, would not measure her from side to side. And Antipholus says, then she bears some breadth. Oh, she's a little overweight. And Dromio says, no longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She is spherical like a globe. Oh, sir, she is not any taller than she is wide from side to side. She is round like a globe. I could find out countries on her. This is where they start to be not quite so nice. Where is Scotland? Okay, if you can find out countries on her, where is Scotland? Which, on a real globe, towards the top of this little red part right here. I found it by the barrenness hard in the palm of her hand. There's nothing growing on the palm of her hand, so that's Scotland. Where France? That'd be this orange one. in her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her heir. Heir meaning the next ruler. France was having a bit of a war over who was going to be the next king. But Dromio turned it into a joke that her forehead has gone to war against her hair, meaning she is going bald. Where England? I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them. But I guess it stood on her chin by the salt room that ran between France and it. I looked for the white cliffs. Dover in England has very white cliffs, but I couldn't find them. They weren't white at all. I think it's her chin though, because there was a salt, like a runny nose, in between France and it, like the English Channel is salt water between France and England. Where is Spain? Faith, I saw it not. But I felt it hot in her breath. Spain is a very warm country. And what about America, the Indies? Oh, sir, upon her nose, all over embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armados of carracks to be ballast to her nose. I think the Americas are all over her nose because she has all kinds of jewels, pimples or zits, all over her nose, and it's near the hot breath of Spain, which at that time was sailing to the Americas to take what riches they could from the Americas. Oh, it's connected to our history too. Oh, well, okay, where stood Belgium, the Netherlands? Okay, this is kind of fun. Now tell me about other countries I know, like Belgium or the Netherlands. And Dromio says, oh, sir, I did not dare look so low, because they're known as the lowlands or the low country. To conclude, this drudge, or diviner, laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, and told me what privy marks I had about me as the mark of my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm, and that I, amazed, ran from her as a witch. Sir, I don't want to talk about the Netherlands. I didn't look so low down on her. But I gotta tell you that this person, the servant or this witch, I'm not sure which, claimed that we were going to get married. And she knew my name was Dromio. And then she told me about all these marks on my body, like the mole on my shoulder, and another mole on my neck, and a wart that I had on my left arm. She knows all about me. And I was terrified. So I ran from her because I do think she's a witch. And I think if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curdled dog and made me turn in the wheel. And sir, if I hadn't been so brave to run away from her, I think she would have turned me into a dog that runs in like a hamster wheel to turn the meat over the fire. And now Antipholus is no longer in a joking mood either, because all these people know who they are and know all these secrets about them, and they don't know any of these people. So Antipholus says, go hie thee presently post to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. Go quickly out into the city and find out if there are any boats leaving this place. I don't care which way the wind is blowing. I don't care which way the boats are going. If anything is leaving, so am I. If any bark put forth, come to the march, where I will walk till thou return to me. If you do find a boat that's leaving, come and meet me in the marketplace. I'm going to go walk there to wait for you. If everyone knows us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone. If everybody in this city knows us, we don't know any of them, it is time to walk, pack, and get out of here. And Dromio agrees and says, as from a bear a man would run for life, so fly I from her that would be my wife. Just as people would run away from a bear, I am going to run away from that woman who thinks she's going to be my wife. And he just dashes out. He's going to go find if a boat is leaving so they can get out of Ephesus. It is not working for them in that city. And then Antipholus does a little monologue where he talks to himself, and he's kind of pacing around the dining room, and he says, there's none but witches do inhabit here. Nobody but witches and magical creatures live in this town. And therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. Therefore it's past time that I get out of here. She that doth call me husband Even my soul doth for a wife abhor. Ugh, that lady that thinks I'm her husband, can't stand her. Ugh, but her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace, of such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. Oh, but her sister, she's so pretty. She talks so sweetly and so smartly. Oh, I would almost be willing to stay for her. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song. Oh, but unless I fall prey to all this magic and trickery that's going on here, I'm gonna plug my ears, and I don't care how sweetly that beautiful lady sings like a mermaid, I am not staying. And so he dashes out of the dining room. We'll see what happens next time. Bye, scholars.